KTN News Desk. It's a sad afternoon for the people of Mtindwa. We'll be giving you details why. My name is Edith Kimani.
And my name is Boni Tunya. We'll jump straight into this afternoon's bulletin, and here are the highlights.
"11 confirmed dead when a train and a matatu collide at Mtindwa level crossing. Well, we apologize for that, but let's have a look at the highlights once more. 11 confirmed dead when a train and matatu collide at the Mtindwa level crossing. Also, IEBC CEO James Oswago appears in court after being arrested over procurement irregularities in the March 4th elections. And also, General Motors East Africa launches the Isuzu XZ51 truck into the East African truck market. All this and more coming your way in just a short while. To that developing story, and as of now, 11 people have been confirmed dead and several injured after a minibus they were traveling in collided with a train at Mtindwa Junction. That's between Umoja and Buruburu Estate in Nairobi. Police have launched a manhunt for the driver of the minibus who managed to somehow escape. We're now joined live by
a fatal miscalculation. The driver of the minibus is said to have been trying to avoid the early morning rush hour. The train conductor gave ample warning. While other motorists heeded the warning and stopped to allow the train to pass, the driver of the minibus thought he would make it across, a decision that ended the lives of 10 innocent people.
When there is a congestion along the Jogo Road, they use this route which they used this morning. This is not their route anyway. So when they know that their usual route, that is Jogo Road, is congested, like this morning, they use other routes. So I have that information that they are notorious in making noise.
Unavyojua Nairobi ni jiji la watafutaji, na vibanda hivi vya biashara pia vimekuwa vingi sana, na vinachangia kwa njia moja ama nyingine hali kama hii, kwa sababu barabara, dereva anapoingia kwenye reli, kuna kibanda upande wa kushoto, kuna kibanda upande wa kulia. Kwa hiyo pia ile visibility, uonaji wa hali ya barabara na kule anakokwenda kidogo ni tatizo.
According to the police, the driver of the minibus jumped out of the vehicle before the impact and is on the run. The injured were initially taken to Mama Lucy Kibaki Hospital, from where 17 casualties were transferred to Kenyatta National Hospital, 2 to MP Shah Hospital, while 5 remain admitted at Mama Lucy Hospital. Catherine Omwando, KTN.
We'll stay with that story about the early morning train crash in Umoja at exactly the Mutinda level crossing that we now know 11 people have been confirmed dead. We also know 11 casualties have been taken to the Kenyatta National Hospital, 2 at the MP Shah and 5 admitted at the Mama Lucy Hospital, that is in Umoja, and also 2 have been treated and discharged. But to give us a better picture of what exactly happened this morning is Patrick Amimo, who is at the Mama Lucy Hospital in Umoja. Patrick, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Boni Tunya.
Patrick, we already have the numbers of what of the injured and dead, but exactly what happened today?
Indeed, these early morning accidents occurred at around 7:15 in the morning, and it involved a commuter train that was heading to Kahawa. And this train at the Mutindwa level crossing did collide with a public service vehicle belonging to Umo Inner Circle. These are vehicles that ply Umoja route. And this particular junction, these vehicles at times try to use this route to escape the traffic snarl up along Jogo Road during the morning rush hours.
Now,
and what happened was that,
Patrick, we also do understand that there were some protests in that particular area regarding this accident. What was that about?
Indeed, after the accidents, area residents appear to have been angered by the action, And around 11:30 in the morning, we had a brief riots where people blocked the outer ring road, trying to ensure that Umo inner minibuses don't ferry passengers either to or from town. And these some people also took advantage of this particular chaos, brief chaos that did erupt, to stop vehicles and try to steal from passengers. But a quick intervention from the police officers at the scene tried to put off these people who are blocking the road, creating mayhem and blocking the road. So that was a brief disruption at around 11:30, and it took about 20 minutes before the police guy dispersed the mob. Bonnie?
Patrick, we also have some disturbing news that the driver jumped off and is still at large just before the crash. Can you confirm that?
Indeed, the traffic police commandant and the commandant in charge of the Kenya Railway Police has confirmed that the driver of the vehicle is at large. And it appears this vehicle, while it was overlapping, and in the process, it stalled when it reached the level crossing. That's why the train hit it. According to the police, other vehicles had stopped to allow the train to pass. But this driver of the minibus overlooked that and went on to cross. Maybe he might have underestimated the distance. In so doing, the train hit the vehicle, causing this accident where, unfortunately, 11 people were left dead and about over 20 injured so far. Bonnie, before that, at the hospital, we had a chance also to talk to the medical superintendent, Dr. Julius Ogato, to give us a brief on really what happened when these people were brought to this hospital, because it was the first hospital, the first point of contact with the patients who were injured at the scene from Mutindwa. And now here we play with a clip of the previous interview we had with the medical superintendent, Dr. Julius Ogato, for the briefing.
Are injured, and as the standard procedure is, they asked me to give them more workers. Immediately I called the head of my disaster response team, and we called all the doctors and the nurses and the clinic officers to come on site. Immediately thereafter, I received a report that the people were badly injured. The injuries ranging from head injuries to cervical spine injuries, spinal injuries, blunt chest injuries, blunt abdominal injuries, pelvic fractures, multiple fractures of the limbs, and some of the patients needed neurosurgical care and ICU care, so we had to refer them. That is when immediately I called the director, Kenyatta National Hospital, to inform him that we are referring badly injured patients. I called the county director and one of the directors in the ministry to inform them what has happened. I called Red Cross for ambulances and St. John's ambulance. I called Madare Hospital, Mbagathi Hospital, the DMOH, Dr. Dede, DMOH in Bakassi, to assist us with ambulances for referral of the hospital of the patients to Kenyatta. I also called the OCS because there was a stampede. There were many people who had brought the sick, and others came to see, curious onlookers. We needed order. So the OCS quickly responded and gave me officers who controlled the crowd. My staff responded quickly. Actually, some came in their night pajamas, and they started attending and giving treatment to the injured patients. So within a short time, we are done triage, and the parties involved had responded very well, and we started sending those patients to Kenyatta, by which time we presumed that Kenyatta was ready to receive them.
Thank you. That has been Dr. Julius Ogatso, the medical superintendent for Mama Lucy Kibaki Hospital, giving us a brief on really what happened when the first casualties did arrive at this particular hospital. This is a level 4 hospital, and it says that it is equipped to deal with emergencies. So far, those people who were treated here, or those who were brought to this particular facility, were 34. Out of these 34, 7 died. 20 were transferred to Kenyatta National Hospital and other hospitals like MP Shah 2. 2 were treated and discharged. One patient who had been admitted to this particular facility were referred to Kenyatta National Hospital, died. And it's most of the patients who were brought here, the casualties suffered chest pains, broken limbs, and head injuries from the impact of the train crash. And from back at the scene, as you've heard the doctor say that there was a curious onlookers a problem, and even at the hospital, as he did talk about curious onlookers coming to jam the hospital, the same did happen at the scene. So from Mama Lucy Kibaki, Patrick Amimo, handing you back to the studio. Bonnie.
Right, many thanks, Patrick Amimo. Bring us to speed with what happened this morning. We understand and have confirmed the early morning train bus crash accident at Mutindwa level crossing, that is in Umoja. 11 people have lost their lives regarding that accident. 15 have been transferred to Kenyatta National Hospital, 2 at MP Shah and 5 admitted at the Mama Lucy Hospital. We also know that 2 people have been treated and discharged. We also understand from the police that the driver of the bus is still at large as he jumped off the bus right before the crash. KTN managed to get the statement from the Rift Valley Railways regarding this particular accident, and it reads in part that well, the company expresses deep regret at the loss of life and injury for those involved in the accident, but also it came out to clarify a few safety issues, and one is that trains, the crossing point is manned daily by a traffic police officer who controls traffic and stops vehicles. It also reads that trains approaching the crossing, in keeping with the stipulated safety protocols, hoot to warn of the approach, and the traffic police then alerts or diverts the vehicle to allow this carriage to pass. And according to eyewitnesses, the Matatu defied these hoots and the headlight warning from the oncoming train and moved into the truck. And KTN is continuing to be on top of that story. We'll give you details regarding that particular crash this morning.
Indeed, but let's look at other stories making headlines today. And former President Mwai Kibaki has termed the Westgate terror attack as an act of cowardice. Speaking publicly on the September terror attack for the first time, Kibaki thanked the East African community for standing with Kenya. He was speaking after opening the East Africa Golf Challenge at the Great Rift Valley Lodge in Naivasha. And the former head of state said the country will not be cowed by the attack.
Besides, it signifies your confidence in our region's future, despite the hiccups visited upon us recently by enemies of peace and harmonious coexistence. Our resilience as a nation, and indeed as a region, is greatly boosted by this confidence. It is through this kind of resolve to proceed with an event such as today's that we signal to those bent on disrupting our normal routine that we are focused on greater things.
Let's move to other matters. And the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission's Chief Executive Officer James Oswago and 3 other IEBC officials this morning denied 4 counts of corruption-related charges. The 4 who appeared before the Chief Magistrate Doreen Mukeo at the Anti-Corruption Court were charged with failure to comply with the procurement law and abuse of office, among other counts. They pleaded not guilty and were released on a 500,000 shillings bond each. The case will be mentioned on the 14th of the next month. Now, they were arrested yesterday while attending a workshop in Naivasha.
please. That's what a section of religious leaders in Mombasa were saying to government, to give them firearms in order to be able to protect themselves. And the person who is following that story for us is Wilson Buru. He's in Limuru to bring us more on this. Wilson, by way of telephone, I know it's created a lot of controversy, this particular incident. Do you have any new developments on the same?
Absolutely. It is good afternoon to the two of you. Now, the NCCK has come out and said that they do not support the giving of firearms or the relaxing of the rules for Kenyans to have easier access to firearms. Now, what the NCCK is saying is that there is a reason why Kenyans pay taxes so that the government can protect them via the police. So, but the NCCK General Secretary Canon Peter Karanja has also said that any pastor or religious leader who thinks that they are threatened, they can just go ahead and apply like any other Kenyan for a firearm, and that is going to be subjected, and they are going to be subjected to background checks and whatnot. But that is the stand of the NCCK right now is that they do not support the giving of firearms. However, they support any person who feels that they are threatened. They'll go ahead and apply for a firearm just like any other Kenyan.
All right, Wilson, obviously this is a very strong sentiment coming from what is considered the moral authority of the country. Have they mentioned at all what implications or repercussions they think this very forward statement might have on the rest of the country?
Pardon?
Have they said or mentioned what they think the rest of the country will take their statement to mean?
The emphasis of the statement mainly is that Kenyans surrendered their right to bear arms on the terms that the government security agencies would secure them. And hence, no Kenyans should be made to feel that they do not have a right to enjoy their rights and freedoms anywhere in the country. But any person, again, who feels that they want to go and apply for a firearm, that's basically up to them, and they would support that kind of move.
Okay, Wilson, apart from guns, I do know that the pastors, I understand they were talking about the ICC issue as well. What have they said with regard to this?
They have actually, touched on various issues, and one of them, of course, is the ICC issue, and they have recommended that the Kenyan cases at the ICC be deferred for a period of 1 year. They have, however, said that they do not support calls for the withdrawal of Kenya from the Rome Statute. Now, they have said that the UN Security Council should, in that period when the cases should be deferred for the 12 months, they have said that the United Nations Security Council should demand for the execution of a suitable strategic action to complete the reforms in the judiciary, security agencies, and the government. They say that before the end of the deferral period, mechanism should be found to determine whether Kenya is capable of bringing a closure of the issues of the ICC, or whether the trial should be carried on to the end. Basically, what they're saying is that during that period, the ICC should be able to decide whether the cases should continue at the ICC, or whether the cases can be transferred to Kenya, where they are going to be completed.
Thank you very much, Wilson Buru. He is coming to us from Limuru, where the NCCK have made two strong statements. One, on being able to hold firearms. They're saying any pastor who feels threatened should legally and rightfully so get themselves armed if they feel the need. And also on the ICC issue, they've thrown their weight on the fact that they do want a deferral but not withdrawal from the Rome Statute. And speaking of the ICC, the Law Society of Kenya has called on President Uhuru Kenyatta to honor the ICC summons and attend all sessions as required. Now, LSK warned the president that failure to attend the sessions would have grave consequences. The LSK chairman, Eric Mutua, urged the head of state to snub calls from politicians who want him to ignore the summons. In the last couple of weeks, various leaders have called on Uhuru to ignore the ICC, even as Uhuru and the African Union push for a deferral of the ICC cases against Uhuru and his deputy, William Ruto.
Unless there's a deferral by the UN Security Council, it is in the interest of the country for the president to attend at The Hague because of the attendant consequences of non-attendance. If you do not attend, there are consequences which will not just affect him as a person, but they will affect the country generally. That is why we say unless there's a deferral, then it is in the interest of the country that he attends at The Hague.
General Motors East Africa has entered into the East African truck markets with the launch of the Isuzu EX-Z51 truck that has a 6x4 cargo truck fitted with a turbocharged 6 WFITC engine, a 550-litre fuel tank. The truck's safety features include the anti-braking systems and an onboard computer, as well as an anti-roll stiffness. General Motors East Africa's Managing Director Rita Kavashe reckoned the EX-Z will further strengthen General Motors' market presence by partnering with customers to provide them with the competitive solutions for transport and distributors. General Motors is a global automaker headquarters in Detroit in the United States. Through its strategic partners, GM produces cars and trucks in 30 countries.
Its value because of fuel economy, reliability and durability, and it is going to continue to carry on the strong Isuzu heritage. That's why we are able to be 50 today, and we are going to continue to be strong.
Before we leave, we just want to give you a recap of today's major story, that is Umoja train crash, and we have the latest figures.
Right, and the figures are 11 people have been confirmed dead, 11 also transferred to Kenyatta National Hospital, 2 to MP Shah, and 5 admitted to the Mama Lucy Hospital. We have also reports that 2 have been treated and discharged. We also have unconfirmed reports that the driver has indeed been apprehended.
All right, we also have the statement from Rift Valley Railways, who say that the crossing where the incident happened is manned daily by traffic police officers, and the incident today was caused apparently because the matatu defied hoots and headlight warnings from the oncoming train and then proceeded to move on to the truck, which created the accident. Your Did You Know fact for the day: did you know creative people are more dishonest and likely to cheat? That's according to a Harvard study. And you still, I know you say you're the most creative person in the world, Tunya. Don't lie to me.
What do you call people who are not creative?
Uncreative.
Ordinary people.
That's where we wind up this edition of KTN News Desk. Remember to follow our Twitter handle at KTN Kenya and at KTN News Desk for more updates of what's happening around your world.
All right, and my name is Boni Tunya. Good afternoon.